Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how I created this soft glam Indian bridal makeup look. So I always start off by cleansing the face with the Bioderma micellar cleansing water just to get any oil or residue off the face, and then spraying with the MAC Fix Plus to add a little bit of hydration. And then I'm using the L'Oreal hyaluronic acid just to lock in that hydration. This is going to really help plump up the skin. Next, I'm going in with the Embryolisse Lait Creme Fluid, which is just the lotion version of the richer cream that they have. Nisha's skin has been a little bit more sensitive and oily, so I'm just keeping things more lightweight here. And then adding the Laneige lip balm to the lips, which is going to sit through the application and soften her lips by the time we get to the lipstick. Now for the makeup portion, I'm starting off by priming the eyelids with the Milani eyelid primer, and I'm just smoothing this in a thin layer over the lids. Next, I'm going in with the Nars Creamy Corrector in the shade, I believe, medium. And I'm just using this to correct any darkness or discoloration on the lids and around the eyes. And this is just going to ensure that we have a very even base. And then I'm concealing the lids with the Nars Creamy Concealer in the shade Ginger. This is going to give us a really beautiful blank canvas for our eyeshadows to go on. And I'm just smoothing that in a thin layer over the lids and keeping it pretty close to her skin color so there are no harsh contrasts. Next, I'm going in with the MAC Costa Riche eye pencil, which is a really beautiful warm brown. And I'm using this to sketch out the cut crease shape here. And you'll notice that I haven't actually set the eyelids with any powder. And I like doing this because it helps the colors to grab on easier. And it's a little bit tricky to get the hang of it, but I do find it's worth it and the colors come out even more bright. So I've just drawn on a rough shape along the lash line and the crease, and then I'm taking a flat definer brush and lightly smoking it out. I love using creams and pencils to build up the shadow, and I find that I spend way less time blending powders to get the depth that I want. And it also just seems to blend better in my opinion. And because it's all being blended out anyway, you don't really have to be too precise or perfect with the shape. So I'm taking a bit of this terracotta brown shadow from the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions eyeshadow palette, and I'm just starting to place that over the areas that I've done that pencil. And I'm concentrating that shadow by patting it in on the outer V, and then whatever's left on the brush, I take it in along the crease towards the nose. And then I take a second brush that is completely clean and I use it to buff out the edges. Continuing to pack that on the outer edge until it's at the intensity that I want it to be at. And then I'm also blending it along the upper lash line. So when I'm working with not having set the eyelid with any powder, the way that I like to start applying the powder is by patting it on and then blending it when some of that stickiness has gone away. And then I'm taking this deep brown shadow here and using it to define and deepen the lash line. And I'm using this to sort of sketch out the base for my wing liner shape. I find this really helps to make the wing liner process easier because I have a guideline. And then diffusing the edges with that terracotta brown. Next, I'm taking this Makeup Forever Starlit Loose Pigment. I forget the name of it, but I will list it somewhere on this video. And I'm just packing that on with a fluffy brush onto the lid. It's a beautiful pearly pale gold. Normally for a cut crease, you would have to go in and cut that shape with a concealer first, but because I didn't set the eyelid, I didn't have to do that. So it's going to end up being a much softer cut crease, which is what I want. But yeah, it just makes the process a little bit easier. And here I'm taking that pigment on a flat definer brush, and I'm really going in and defining that cut crease a bit more. And then I'm topping that off with the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade, I believe it's a little quirky. And this is just a different texture with a little bit chunkier glitter. And I love layering textures of shimmers and glitters because it gives a more intense finish and a different depth. Here I've taken a black gel liner. It's my old Makeup Forever one, and I'm just using that on a pencil brush to draw in the lash line. And guys, it's okay to take your time with this. Even the most experienced artists struggle with a wing liner, so just go at your own pace. And then here I've just taken the rest on an angled brush to do the wing. And again, having done the base with that brown shadow really helped me to not feel so anxious about the wing as I had the angle in the guideline, and then filling in the inner corner there as well. And I did forget to record the part after the wing liner, but I did go ahead and add some individual lash clusters to her eyes. And then taking the lightest shimmer shade from the Patrick Ta palette and just taking it into the inner corners of the eyes. So I've decided to add a little extra hydration to the center of her face with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. Sorry guys, excuse my kid in the background and my husband. And then I'm just filling in any pores and smoothing out her skin with the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. And then I'm taking the Becca Backlight Priming Filter and using this to add some glow to the higher points of her face, so along the cheeks and the forehead and the chin. This is obviously discontinued, but you can use any illuminating primer or lotion. And I'm also taking that along her collarbone and shoulders and any areas that are exposed just to match the glow to the face. Here I've taken the Face Atelier Ultra Pro Foundation in the shades 4 and 8, and I'm just buffing that in a light layer into the face. Indian bridal makeup is often a heavier look, but I still want to keep the skin looking fresh and add coverage where I need it with concealer. I forgot to record the bit before the foundation, but I did color correct around her nose and mouth with that same Nars corrector that I used around her eyes. And then I'm taking the Patrick Ta Bronzer Duo in the shade She's Bronzed. This is my personal one, and I asked Nisha if it's okay for me to use this on her because she's my friend, but I would never use this on an actual client. So I'm just taking that cream contour shade and starting to build up the shadow and the contour of her face. And I'm applying that with a flat brush first and not taking too much at once, and then blending that out with my foundation brush. And you'll see that when I'm doing the creams that I go back and forth with my foundation brush a lot just to blend out the edges. And here I'm defining her jawline, and I also like to take that contour down the hollows of the neck just so that everything that's going on the face matches the neck as well since it's exposed. And then slowly adding more and building up the intensity as I need it. I don't like to go in with too much product at once. It's just easier to build than take away. And here I'm going ahead and lightly contouring the nose just to make sure that the center of the face isn't flat while the perimeters of the face are nicely bronzed. And I also like taking the cream contour and bronzer around the mouth just to add a little bit of natural fullness. For concealer, I'm using that same Nars Ginger, and I've actually gone ahead and mixed it with the Dior Skin Correct Concealer in the shade 2W Olive. And I've just done this to get the right coverage for her eyes and also to make sure that there is a little bit more of that olive undertone, but it's not too much while mixed in with the Nars Ginger. I love the combination of these two. They're both such creamy, hydrating finishes. And this also gives me enough coverage that I don't need to go in with too much. So I'm able to do just a light layer of this underneath the eyes and wherever I need it. And it's going to give me amazing coverage. And I also like to take it along the bridge of the nose, the forehead, and also concealing a little bit over the cupid's bow and the chin and anywhere where the light would naturally brighten the heights of the face. And then occasionally I like to smooth out everything with a damp makeup sponge just to make sure there are no harsh lines or edges. Here I'm just taking a really small amount of that concealer and lightly cleaning up under the contour area. And this is also gonna define that contour a bit more. And then I'm taking that powder from the She's Bronze palette and just placing that everywhere where we've done the cream contour. Honestly, this is such a beautiful shade of bronzer and contour, especially for medium skin tones. It just really makes the skin look radiant and beautifully bronzed, but not too intense or too harsh. The powder is very fine and light, and it's very easy to build up, and it goes on so smooth. I just love this so much. And then taking that powder bronzer on a smaller brush just to get those small detail areas like around the mouth and also around the nose. I love layering creams and powders. It gives such a beautiful depth to the whole look. For highlight, I'm using the Ofra Rodeo Drive highlighter, which is a beautiful champagne shade, and I'm just placing that on the cheekbones and then a little bit on the cupid's bow of the lips and a tiny bit on the tip of the nose as well. Then I'm taking the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish powder in the shade medium, and I'm using that on a small fluffy brush to set underneath the eyes and really anywhere where we've done that concealer just to smooth everything out and take away the shine. I realized as I was doing this that this powder shade had taken away some of that brightening effect, so I do go in with the lighter shade, which is shade number 1, just to brighten everything up after this. And here I'm going in with the lighter shade on a fluffier brush, and it's done a great job of brightening everything up again and filtering and making things look smooth. Next, I'm going in with the Patrick Ta Velvet Blush in the shade She's Seductive. I love this one for medium skin tones. It's not too pink or too warm. It's just a beautiful in-between mauvey, bronzy blush. And then I'm using the Milani Romantic Rose Blush, which is a little bit lighter. And I'm using this to diffuse the edges of the Patrick Ta blush that we put on. And then for brows, I've just taken a dark brown powder from my BH Cosmetics brow palette. I don't want to do too much here. I just want to give her a natural brow shape and work with what she has. So I'm just filling in any gaps and intensifying it to match the depth of the makeup here. And then I'm brushing that powder through with the spoolie as I go just to diffuse the product. And then I'm setting the eyebrows with the e.l.f. Brow Lift. And guys, this has the most amazing hold. It is the best brow product that I have used. And I know it looks similar to the Anastasia one. I've actually never used that one. So if you guys have used both of these, let me know how they compare. But yeah, I love this e.l.f. one, and it's so affordable as well. And here I'm just finishing off the eyes. I'm taking that Costa Riche liner and lining the bottom lash line, and I'm going to smoke that out. And then I'm blending that out with the dark brown eyeshadow. And then here I'm adding some mascara to blend in her natural lashes with the false lashes. This is just the Maybelline Lash Sensational on a disposable spoolie. And then doing a light layer on the bottom lashes as well. For lips, I'm using the Rimmel lip liner in the shade Brownie Pie, which is a deep chocolate brown. And I always love using a deeper shade of lip liner to contour the lips first. I find that this gives a really nice fullness to the lips and adds a beautiful definition so that whatever lipstick or lip product you're using really stands out, and you'll get to see this at the end. And then with a small detail brush, I just blend out that dark lip liner to make sure there are no harsh edges. Now I'm filling in the rest of the lips with the Milani lip liner in All Natural, which is a nude pink shade. This is going to help ensure longevity of her lip products. For lipstick, I've mixed two Maybelline shades here, which are Beige Babe and Nude Nuance, to get this beautiful neutral pink. And here I'm using the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Powder just to do a really quick bake. I'm not going to leave this on for too long, but I just want to make sure I lock in all those concealed areas. So I'm placing that, yeah, just wherever the concealer is. And I'm also going to use that to carve out her bronzed areas and also set the cheek area a bit as well. And then I literally dust that off within a minute or two, and you can see just what a beautiful, smooth, filtered look it leaves to her face, and it cleans everything up as well at the same time. And then I'm topping off her lips with a bit of that Laneige lip balm just to add a glossy finish. I really feel like this brings the entire look together. And then a final mist of the MAC Fix Plus just to get rid of any powderiness on the face. And that is the finished look. I think this is one of my favorite glams I have ever done. I wish I could get married again just so I could do this makeup on myself. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.